Video number 3, cause and effect. My name is Vivian Curl. I'm with Canna TV, and I am a cannabis oil patient. Michigan is the state in which I reside. Jackson is the city in which I reside. Actually, the county I reside in. In my city, Jackson, they eliminated dispensaries, which were places that you could go to get your cannabis oil. Now we don't have those places. So you have to rely on a caregiver. And I have a caregiver. Oops.
Insert caregiver A.
That understands what my physical condition is and understands cannabis, the differences between THC and CBD. And for this reason, my caregiver is able to help me create the medicine to treat my condition, and which I have had success because of, you know, just my face, the rash on my face. I mean, before you would be able to, even from here, you would be able to see the red blotches all over my face. It was really bad. I mean, but you have to get really close to see the blotches. And even when you get really close, they're not as raised and, I don't know, painful is what they were. It was painful. This rash, it wasn't just a rash. It was raised and it hurt underneath. I started my cannabis oil treatment on a 5-day regimen, those bigger pills. And it was with those pills that we really started seeing a big difference.
Yeah, that's when we upped the dose. We were doing 1/4 gram doses throughout the day, and what we were trying to do was get Viv to the point that she could take a larger dose at least once a day. And I like breaking the doses up, so we've always got something, serum levels in the blood pretty high, and so by starting out, and we started Viv actually below the 1/4 gram dose. You know, when we initially started, it was about 3 or 4 grains of rice when we would actually give her the dose. So Viv, right now, we've upped the nighttime dose is what we've done. We went from a 1/2 gram at night, plus maybe 1 or 2 high CBD capsules if she had trouble sleeping. And now what we're doing is we're going up to 2/3 of a gram of a combination of high THC and high CBD capsules, and allowing her to augment as many high CBD capsules as she wants to, so that she can rest comfortably.
Now, so we've started the oils. We're taking a concentrated dose, morning, noon, and night. We have the high CBD concentration, 1 capsule when I wake up in the morning, and 1 capsule in the afternoon. And then I take the bigger pill, which has the higher THC, in the evening. And what that has done is it has pushed my condition back to where the rash on my face is not as predominant. I'm starting to get the color back to my face. I had kind of a grayish,
very pallor,
yellow almost type color to myself. I had no energy. I wanted to sleep all the time. I'm not, my appetite is still off, but I have been forcing myself to eat. But I'm feeling more energetic, and it's cannabis oil that has started bringing me back around.
And let me say something, insert something here really quick. When Viv said that her appetite wasn't that good, we were able to change the oil a little bit to emphasize things that would make you a little bit more hungry. And
I got to tell you that right now, that my stomach is starting to feel really hungry.
Yeah,
and I haven't eaten at all today. What time is it, Joe?
Oh, it's good. It's about 8:30.
It's 8:30 at night, and I haven't had anything to eat at all today.
That's going to change now.
This is my first, as I said, I just took this dose, and now I'm starting to feel hungry, where I wasn't feeling hungry at all. So the signs are hopeful. The only thing that we're really concerned about, but we're not really concerned about, because you know what? They're going to arrest me, and they're going to arrest my caregiver for helping me.
Insert caregiver A again.
Get my health back. Now, I make too much money to collect welfare. I don't make enough money to pay high premiums for insurance because I'm a single parent raising 2 sons. Actually, I've got 3 right now. My oldest son is unemployed right now, and he's looking for work. So in the meantime, I'm supporting my kids, but I wouldn't have money for my medicine if I were being treated in conventional method.
Or
in
even,
conventional medicine.
Yeah, and this is important, though, is, you know, our community is very compassionate.
Yes.
You know, we look at you know, people's resources, and we make sure that people get the medicine that they need.
And I haven't paid 1 dime for my medicine.
And neither
my
does anybody
caregiver
else.
takes care of me. And that's, not all caregivers can do that, though.
No,
on their
that's,
defense. Some caregivers can't do that. Some caregivers do the very best that they can. But a caregiver should, at the very least.
And we get a lot of help. And let me say this. There are caregivers all over the state, when we call out for help, that we need a donation to help a patient, boom, it comes in.
It does.
And it really does. And that's the secret. Some people can't make wool, and that's what Viv was saying. It's, you know, it's not everybody likes, you know, playing with alcohol and stuff like that. I don't know, it gets in your blood.
And right, and not everyone can make it the right way.
No, and it takes practice.
And someone who knows what they're doing. And my caregiver he makes oil, and he's had many of his strains tested. That's also, it's important, but it's not mandatory. Now,
yeah, and testing is a good thing.
When you're first learning, I recommend, or I would say, from a patient's perspective, that I wouldn't say all of yours I would even want tested, because I know that you know how to do it right. But if I had a caregiver that didn't know what they were doing, I may want their strains tested so that I know that I'm getting quality oil.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, as a patient, you could actually, you know, you could always take the samples yourself,
right,
and get them tested.
That's right,
and that's not a bad idea. You know, really, when you start down this path with a caregiver, you want to be very careful who you choose. And there's a ton, like I'm saying, folks, there are a ton of good caregivers out there. I know, I've met most of them. And so just, you know, both people should be happy with each other. This is a relationship. It's an ongoing relationship. And just make sure all the dynamics are there. And this is the most important thing. Make sure the expectations are correct. And that's a two-party thing there. You know, when you're hearing something, you know, repeat it back to somebody. And say, all right, you're saying you'll give me a free ounce a month and then charge me $200 an ounce thereafter, or whatever deal you guys come up with.
Right. Because it's actually between the caregiver and the patient. That's who enters into the deal together.
Yeah, and that's right. And it's just making sure the expectations are correct. And if you get that right, then, you know, the relationship's going to be a lot more problem-free.
Correct.
And so, and that's what we have to start doing, you know, as a community, is making sure that the right people get matched with the right people. So if somebody needs oil, you know, if they're a cancer patient, then maybe, you know, put them with, you know, make sure they find an oil shiner somewhere.
Right. Okay, so here we are 15 minutes later. You notice I'm still carrying on. Intelligent conversation.
You did not turn into a frog or anything. I can testify to that.
I'm not dying, or I don't feel pain. That's it. I don't feel pain. Normally, you know, I have joints, my muscles, especially in my shoulders areas, just hurt a lot. And I'm not feeling that pain. And
this is important, folks. You know, there's properties in this plant, and to some extent we're finding out how those things work. So when you're making an oil for your patients, you know, it's like you know, when the patient describes, well, I have problems with pain, then we want to go with a high CBD strain. And that's really huge, because high CBD deals with pain. It really helps out. And then, you know, depression. High CBD is very good for depression, and most sick people have depression. So it's good to add those strains in your mix and then make oil from those strains. And
I got to tell you that since I have been taking cannabis oil, this is the best antidepressant that I have ever been on. And I was clinically diagnosed with bipolar, which I believe bipolar is a made-up condition.
It is.
That they just made it up so they could sell more prescription
drugs.
Brand new drug
category, everybody.
those prescription drugs are what destroyed my liver and created this condition that I'm fighting currently.
And that actually, folks, is a matter of science too. Drug-induced lupus is a common condition. It's on the National Library of Medicine. You can go out there and look it up for yourself, and see what happens there. There's no difference in natural onset or drug-induced. They both impact mostly women.
Mm-hmm. And it is environmental. It is environmental.
Yeah, your own immunity system turns on you.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what happens, and it's a disease du jour. I mean, every day you wake up, it could be something else wrong, and that's why cannabis works so well in the condition, because what lupus does is it causes a lot of inflammation in the body, and that's the way it damages tissues. What cannabis does, and this is National Library of Medicine again, not Joe saying it, what cannabis does, one of the primary properties is to reduce inflammation, and that's why people with lupus respond so well.
And look at, I mean, seriously. I mean, I don't know. Testimonial comes best from my family. And Joe, he can tell you.
Oh, she's a lot better. There's no doubt about it. And the thing is, folks, and this is anybody at home that's searching for a loved one that's got a serious medical condition, you're considering cannabis, you need to go to the National Library of Medicine. Now,
that's PubMed.org.
Yeah, and a lot of it is the endocannabinoid system is what you have to look up. You won't find it under cannabis. They're actually hiding it a little bit from the public. But there's hundreds of thousands of articles from scholars, not medical marijuana activists, that describe amazing properties.
You can look it up as, if you go into PubMed to the search, if you type in marijuana, cannabis, or hemp, you'll get easily 300,000 of each one.
There's a ton of them. And you can add, qualifiers like cancer.
Cancer.
Or
you
MS
put in any
whatever
condition, and it'll bring it up. There's been a study. Don't let them lie to you.
Oh,
They're
no.
lying to you.
No, they actually are. And the thing is I'm above and beyond everything else. What cannabis does in all of its forms, and I like oil when I'm talking about a cancer patient or MS or MDA or any of the other, any other painful condition, arthritis even, is it eliminates pain. 100%. It's the only drug that I've ever heard of that's 100% effective that you don't build up a resistance to.
That's right.
I mean, 7 days a week. You can take it 7 days a week. You can, and it lasts for almost 24 hours or even longer.
And you don't have the side effects from it. The only side effect that I have from taking cannabis is right now I have the freaking munchies. But I haven't eaten anything all day. I mean, I have not eaten. My condition is like I don't know why I'm just not hungry.
Well, no, this is something that we're finding out about, and this may be tied to Tora Bora, and we're not sure of it, that it has an anorexic effect. In other words, it reduces the appetite.
So the high CBD, because I take 2 of those capsules during the day, it could be preventing me from eating.
Yeah, it just reduces.
Or reducing my appetite.
Because we know that that marijuana in all its forms
so that would make appetite. A good diet pill.
Yes, it would. See, there's an amazing thing. All right, all you pharmaceutical companies, listen, we didn't say that. We don't want you to do that. We'll develop it ourselves.
We don't want the popo to hear.
No, that it's good for dieting and everything.
All right, well, we're going to sign off for now. I'll come back in another 15 minutes so you can see the cause and effect. The difference is I can still function just fine. I'm not. If I would have taken a Vicodin for my pain that I have, I would be groggy right now. I mean, I would be like kind of buzzed, like feeling, and really kind of out of it. But obviously,
she's going to slam a bologna sandwich.
Obviously,
that's what's going to happen. A bologna sandwich.
I am. I'm going to go eat.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come back and we'll talk. All right. See you soon.